Your name is Mom, and you even wear a super cape. You are asked to do everything, and everyone expects you to do everything, including yourself. You say yes because you totally have room on your calendar, but then things start to go wrong. One thing happens that you didn't plan for, then another, and another. Things spiral out of control, and you find yourself exhausted to the point that you're having physical symptoms like migraines, emotional breakdowns, and the adult version of the temper tantrum. You know you have to change something to be able to still be the good mom, but what do you do? How can you step back so you can care for yourself and consequently your family while the world is burning around you? Today, we are going to talk about physical and emotional exhaustion when our routines get hit with a load of metaphorical dynamite and a few things you can do to recover. Do you miss having time for Jesus and yourself, but you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Cheryl, wife, girl mom, and Jesus follower. I learned the not-so-secret ways to become the mom my girls needed by prioritizing Jesus back into my mom life and reclaiming my identity in Christ. If you're ready to build faith while washing dishes, rediscover your identity, and love yourself like your babies do, grab your earbuds and lock that bathroom door for a minute alone. It's time for Mom. Before we jump in, I wanted to let you know that the private Facebook group for Time for Mom is live, and I am so excited to see you join the group. It's called Biblical Encouragement for Christian Moms, in case you want to search for it. Or you could go to bit.ly/Time for Mom community and reclaim a little time for you. And now here we go. I was so done. September marks the start of our busy season as a family. Things go from busy from summer to absolutely bonkers as a family and in ministry. As we prepare for holidays and fundraising, we start school, our family hunts, because that's how we get our meat. So hunting season starts then, and it just goes absolutely crazy. My calendar was already full with personal responsibilities, schooling, because we homeschool, doing this podcast, writing devotionals, potty training regressions from our youngest, and then the external things piled on, things that weren't a part of my home life. Things started to go wrong at work, emergencies, things breaking, unexpected acts of generosity that added one more thing to my heaping plate. I was already running on empty from the back-to-back special events that my husband was involved with, but this day just shoved me off the edge and my fumes that I had been running on ran out. Being responsible for tiny little humans is hard, and then you throw in all the other responsibilities that we have outside of our families, and it becomes so easy to get overwhelmed. And I reached a state of physical exhaustion, complete with a migraine, and fighting impending emotional breakdowns. I was having so much trouble regulating my own emotions. I mean, how could I help my kids regulate theirs? I wasn't doing well. Something had to give, and it was either me or my responsibilities. But even if I stopped and set down my responsibilities, they still had to be taken care of. So what do you do? What could I do? Here's some things that I ended up doing in the middle of this breakdown, for lack of a better term. I called for help. I have had several people that have offered to help me with the kids that I do trust, and I know when these emergencies hit, because there was some stuff that needed to be taken care of that I knew would take extra time, and I knew I was most likely going to be overwhelmed if I had to keep the kids, and my husband was still in recovery mode physically from his events. I knew we needed help. So I started making calls the day before the day of which I shall not speak. This is hard to do if you don't have a community. But if you do have a community, I can guarantee you that there are people who love you and want to help you. They can help you with your kids, safe people with safe environments for your children. In your home, at your work, at their house, somewhere, there are people that you already trust who want to help, but it's hard to accept help. I totally get this. I live with my parents and I have a hard time asking them to do things because I feel like I'm imposing. However, it has been brought to my attention that this is actually hurting my parents, this lack of wanting to ask them for help. So I would encourage you to ask your community, ask your family for help when you're in these situations. Because momming with a migraine makes motherhood seem absolutely impossible because you just want to curl in on yourself in a dark room. I mean, what else can you do? You can't lash out because it hurts too much. You have to take time to recover, even if it's 30 minutes. Drink your water. Do deep breathing, eat healthy food because nutrition is very important. And, maybe you have been letting that slide. Take the time, ask for help, accept the help so you can care for yourself, so you can be the mom your kids need. The second thing that I did that goes hand in hand with the first was relinquish control of some things. Because while it is easier oftentimes to just do things myself, I still need help with things. I don't always like to admit that, but obviously I have control issues. But if the end goal is met and you both have the same thing, let the method of reaching that end goal go. There are so many people around you who are capable of helping, even if they don't do it like you. Like my husband. My husband does not parent how I do, but when I come home, my kids are still alive, fed, and most of the time they're happy unless they got in trouble. I don't need to control how my husband parents because he's a father. He's going to do it differently. But the end goal is the same, and it's met, and it's successful. And the same is true of things outside of family, especially for responsibilities, whether it's in work or elsewhere. For me, it's ministry. There's a lot of people who are capable of helping, but I don't usually ask them to. And I had to let people do things that I would normally do myself because if I didn't, I would cause myself more harm. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to accept help with your kids, with other things. Just relinquish that control. We're not called to control the world. That's up to God. He's got it all in his hands. We're just called to be children of peace, to be his children. And control is definitely not where peace comes out of. The third thing that I did, or rather was done for me, was prayer. Prayer should probably have been the first thing that I went to, but it wasn't. I wish it was. But it wasn't. I was praying. And then I also had people stop and pray for me because they could see that I wasn't doing well. I remember a time when some really good friends were moving away in my teen years. I was so mad at God because they hadn't been back in the area very long and I hadn't been reconnected with them for long. And I really liked them and I was so angry. So I went out into our driveway and raked gravel for 2 or 3 hours while I prayed and raked and prayed and maybe ranted a little bit. Like I said, I was a teenager and I was in a very different place life-wise then than I am now. But I still remember how much it helped just going out and doing physical labor to take out my frustrations in a productive way. It helped me get regrounded as I poured my frustrations out to God and on the gravel. The fourth thing is breathe. Prayer and breathing work so well together. And in a sense, you can even breathe in God. I mean, he's everywhere. And his breath is in us. And we need his breath in us because without it, we are just a bunch of fruits and nuts in this world. Deep breathing is also great for emotional regulation. If you haven't looked up deep breathing exercises, highly recommend because they do help you regulate your emotions and just reset yourself mentally. And they're great to teach your kids because they don't know how to regulate and it's up to us to teach them. The fifth and final thing I did was let things go. It's a lot like the second thing, but at the same time, it's not. I wasn't asking people to do things. I just didn't do the things. And it's very hard to do this because in our world, everything seems important and it has to be done now, not later, not never, now, or it's the end of the world. But that's not true. It's so false. Most things don't have to be taken care of immediately. There won't be any dire consequences unless your children are starving because, I got some hangry monsters. I get hangry myself. So feeding your children is something that needs to be done. But you know what? Pour them a bowl of Cheerios or something that's easy. Take the stress off you. They're still fed. They're still alive. It's okay. There is so little in this world that is actually a matter of life or death, do now or die. So what can you let go when the world has just exploded and you can't handle it because you have too much on your plate? Can that deadline be extended? Take a step back. Look at your day and examine what really does have to be done now in the middle of your overload, and then what can actually wait. I usually have to pair this with deep breathing and counsel, because when I'm not feeling good and I'm in exhausted mode, I'm not going to see things clearly. I need to get a second opinion, and spouses are so great for this, but the others who are really good are friends and trusted coworkers if you're at work. So yeah, let things go. The dishes, if you have paper plates, just use paper plates for the day. It's not the end of the world. My kids love to eat with their hands. Don't use forks. There is so much that doesn't have to be done and can actually help your kids have fun on those days when you are in absolute overload. So there are my lessons from my overloaded, horrible, no good day. And I'm just going to do a quick recap. First thing, call for help and accept for help with your kids. The second thing, relinquish some control. Let people help you with things that aren't your kids, not just your kids, but other things. Pray. Be praying and ask for people to pray for you. Breathe. Deep breathing exercises, pausing, all of these are great to do when you're in overload mode. And let things go, because nothing is as important as it seems to be in the moment. Step back, breathe, and really truly look at what is important, what does need to be done now. Until next week, mamas, remember that you are not doing life alone. God is with you, and He has given you people you can ask for help. And if you need some help finding community, come and join the new Time for Mom community. It's going to be amazing. It's growing, so give it a little grace, but I am so excited to be seeing people there. And if you join it, I would love to hear your takeaway on this week's episode. So please come on over to bit.ly/Time for Mom community and join. Bye. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a mom who is wading through those mounds of laundry and dishes and wishing for just a little me time? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It makes my day to know this podcast has helped you. Well, it's time for me to wash more dishes and cook more food. I'll meet you next Wednesday for another episode. Until then, may the God of grace fill you with His peace. Bye.